shoot with the car, things what people think you are shoot with the Canon, right?
Yes.
And the same way about the last hour shooting, people think is the Canon.
Yes.
You know, with the Canon, people feel like, no way, man.
No
it's
way.
A Canon. It's a Canon.
But
no.
see, that's the...
And it was, dark. It was outdoor, right?
Yes.
Was not much light. Was gimbal, right?
Yes.
With on the hand, someone who have not much experience, right? And still people think it's the Canon, like 10 times, 15 times more expensive setup, right?
Yes. I've been able to take the Q3. I've been able to take the Q3 and get it to match the Canon.
Yep.
To where I even have one video up where I basically shot from before sunset all the way through sunset with one camera on top of the other, and basically, I switched back and forth a few times, and most times people couldn't figure out which one was which.
Yeah.
They're looking at it in a headset. It's on DOVR. It's on my channel there, and it's a great way to show what can be done.
Production. So it's like how many percent is the production? The lighting.
It depends.
Yeah.
It really depends.
Normally on this situation.
On this situation, I would say it was probably about 40% camera and 60% on post-production.
Okay.
In order to get, because it actually, each camera has a different color science.
Mm-hmm.
And Canon's color science is just one of the most beautiful. I think Sony, I used to be very big on Sony, but Sony tends to look a little green, whereas Canon does a much better overall, very rich colors, very deep. And so I really love it. It's replaced Sony as my favorite. But then, you've got to be able to handle both. Yeah, the bottom line is you can be really good with a camera, but if you don't have somebody good in the production studio afterwards working on the edit, they can ruin it. People who think they know, first of all, people that call color grading color correction, or they don't call it, they don't understand what the difference is. Color correction is bringing it to a standard. Then once you're at a standard, then you do color grading to change the look. Like one of our friends, when I sent him a 1080 copy, he looked at it and we pulled it off the 8K, and I sent it to him as HD 16:9 ratio, and he looked at it and he said, I can't believe you did this. How'd you do this? It looks so good. And it's all about knowing what to do in post. And, that's a whole different training system, So basically you want to start out keeping the camera as much to automatic as you can so that you don't have to worry about those changes. When I went out the other night and I shot the swing dance here in Bangkok, and it was at Hua Lamphong train station, which is this 1850s train station that was, used to be the main Grand Central Station. Now it's a relic of the past. But they had the swing contest there, and I took the Q3. I kept it on automatic because I didn't want to mess with it. I was amazed at how good that came out. Yes, I still had to do a little bit of in post-production, in editing, to smooth it out and make it look a little bit better. But I didn't even run it through Topaz, which is really unusual. And I thought it looked fantastic. So it's a great starter camera. It's a great camera for people who don't really understand everything yet. But at the same time, you can switch it to being a manual camera so that you can make those adjustments yourself and that you can expand your knowledge as you move up. So it's all about learning. You continue to learn. I continue to learn. After 40 years in the business, I still learn every time I go out and do a new shoot. So that's...
There are more people like this who also, we enjoy their content, right?
Yes.
When you can see beautiful moments, beautiful, places.
I love looking at what my friends do and they send me stuff. What my friends do and they send me stuff and I go, wow, that's fantastic. I mean, it's great. People getting out there and really doing it. I have a guy from Australia as a friend of mine who just did this whole trip, and he's just doing this as a hobby. And he went all over the U.S., from one side of the U.S. to the other side of the U.S., and he did it over, I don't know how many weeks. And he's still processing content.
Yeah, that's
so much.
Just you teach him what the backup.
Oh yeah, I told him.
That's the things. When I first moved to, the travel. No, I moved basically to Asia. I got 800 gigabytes, and it was like really like 12 years ago.
Yeah.
I lost hard drive, 800 gigabytes, right?
Yeah.
Like 800 gigabytes, right?
Yeah.
Like 60, 70 videos.
That's why, I preach this constantly over and over again. The most expensive thing that you own is not your camera. It's not your PC. It's your footage. And it's irreplaceable in some circumstances. You shoot something and the person, God forbid, dies. That's the last thing you have of them. And what if that hard drive fails? Because all hard drives eventually will fail. They're temporary storage. Everybody thinks hard drive is permanent. It's not. Every 3 to 5 years, you should be replacing your hard drive depending upon how good a hard drive you get. Okay? And otherwise, you're going to lose content. Yeah, we had a slight problem last time.
Yes, that's what we fixed, and tips like this, they're really powerful because you never know, and it's like, we wish everyone to not experience things like this, right?
Yeah.
To lose the footage, right? Yeah. But it seems like it's the insurance, Insurance, it's not important until it's important,
yes.
Right? Like sometimes you need to have insurance for 10 years.
That's the funny thing in some that's the funny thing in some ways. This is even better than insurance. Because insurance, let's face it, with insurance, you're betting against yourself.
Yeah.
You're betting that you're going to get sick.
That's why I don't have.
Right.
Because, I'm more focused on my health, right?
There you go.
So it's okay, I have insurance. I can
But
take
if you slip and break your leg tomorrow, you're screwed because you don't have insurance.
Yeah.
But having two hard drives, having two hard drives and having a backup and a main, it's relatively cheap insurance.
Yeah.
And you're not betting against yourself. You're betting against the odds that a mechanical device, because that's what a hard drive is going to fail. And let's face it, what a lot of people don't understand also is that these SSDs, they have a limited write time. They can only write to that hard drive so many times before it wears out. The memory will wear out. The hard drive will fail. So it's like driving your car and, not having a spare tire.
Landing,
Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's like even more precious than that. They lose the footage of their kid's first step.
And it's more important than landing.
Yes, absolutely. And it's like, back it up. Have two hard drives. Yeah, you're spending a little bit more money, but you know what? The chance of losing it makes it so much well worth it. It's an investment. It's just like investing in your camera and getting.
For people to join the VR Academy.
The 5 reasons.
Academy.
The 5 reasons. Learn, and let's count. And learn. It's all about learning new skills. It's about making better productions. It's about making better stories. I'm a storyteller. A lot of times that's what I put on my, when people ask, what do I do? I'm an immersive storyteller.
Yeah.
Everything I do is a story. It's presented as a story. And we all tell stories. When we get together at a club or at the gym or at the grocery store or at a nightclub, we see each other, we say, hey, how you doing? You won't believe what happened to me yesterday. And you go on and tell your friend from the beginning to the end what happened to you yesterday. Now, to you was the most amazing thing. He may think it's the boringest thing in the world, but you're telling a story. And he's looking to tell you his story at the same time. We are storytellers. We drew our stories on cave walls thousands of years ago, and they have lasted. But they look at it now and they're like kind of have to interpret what it is. We have a chance to create a story that tells the full story, not just one image, but a whole ton of images.
Beside the learning, I think the community, which can everyone talking about their own story, own experience, own fail, I think the way of learning is much faster.
Yes.
Because, sometimes you have the same camera, same things, and sometimes, they're malfunction. How is it? Malfunction?
Malfunction.
Right? Yeah, it can be very rare.
Yeah.
And if you don't have anybody who have the same, it's very hard to understand. Remember that our first problem, like, oh, because the footage was the cut, and was, even if you edit, there was no ending process of the finish, the footage.
Right.
So if you don't understand the whole picture and the whole story, you don't know what's the problem.
Yep.
And you can always understand when you have the problem before.
Yeah.
That's why I think the community is important, because, okay, like you can find many people from there who do similar things, and they, connect each other, understand better,
Yeah.
because, we also connect with the people, right? On the VR, I already meet many friends, and then, we do it the same things, and then we are connected,
Yeah.
and we become basically business partners. So I think the community is after 4 learnings, the community is the big part, and
Yeah.
like I said, everyone is the part of the community. It means everyone's a teacher.
Yes.
You learn, it means everyone's a teacher.
Yes.
You learn the most when you teach.
Yep.
Right? Like
Yep.
that's I don't teach you. But basically learn more than you.
Yeah.
Because everything what I experience, my story, and I tell others.
Yes.
Like meeting you first time when I just express myself to you, and I was like, what? It's going to the next level, because I realized there's people from my ground. They understand me,
Yeah.
And if you have a VR academy, if you talk someone with a VR who never have headset, who never express anything,
Yeah.
it sounds like ridiculous.
Yes.
And like, yeah, you 3D. I know what you mean. Like, yeah, it's 3D, right?
And then you put a headset on,
yeah, it's 3D, right?
and then you put a headset on them, and they have what I call the oh shit experience.
you're like
They put the headset on, and they're looking at it, and they go, oh shit, I didn't know it was like this.
I have a meeting with a potential investor from Poland. Hi, Daniel.
Hey, Daniel.
Hi, Daniel.
Hey, Daniel.
Like, after, you show me the presentation, I bought the MetaQuest 3,
Yeah.
And he said, well, what I can watch there,
Yeah.
like, show me the content there. It's like, I would send you the video,
links,
our,
yeah.
people who
Yeah.
I work already create the content, so we can watch there on DOVR and other platform.
Yep.
It's like, okay, what's other things? It's like, I have no idea. I just like watching what I like,
Yeah.
So if you tell me, like, what other things I can see, like, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
I'm watching the content for the people who I know,
Yeah.
and I like them, right?
Yeah,
So I
exactly.
think is what is big lack part. If before many, VR was just advertised like entertainment,
Yeah.
like the roller coaster.
Yeah.
They put them like boxing or the
Yeah.
I always forgot the name. Blade Saver? No.
Yeah. Beat Saber.
Blade Saver? No.
Yeah. Beat Saber.
Beat Save.
Yeah. Beat.
Beat.
Because you're doing it to the
Yeah,
beat.
Beat. Yeah.
It's a
Beat
sword.
Saber. Yeah.
Okay.
I played this game because I bought for my daughter. So I thought, okay, but how long you can play? Like, I'm not the guy who played GTA. and
Yeah.
everything, right?
Yeah.
But I know many people like, okay, but how long you can play? I know there's crazy people that beat Saber. I know
Yeah.
there's people
Oh,
going
my God.
level hard. But in general, it's not that like really deep things when
No.
you can do it on the VR,
No.
And having like a VR creators who also can mix this content with anything else.
Yep.
Like a green screen. We really talk about the content creation on the basic level, what we do.
Yes.
We can go on the absolutely any way. It can be connected with the different sounds, with the microphones like this, connect
Yes.
with the nature and everything.
Yes.
Connect with the the speech behind, for example, the story and everything, right? It's gonna go many different ways. ASMR is a big part of this one, right?
Yes.
Absolutely, they can use this one. So I won't see this from the people who I know. I like to watch someone who I observe from the 2D world, and I want to see on 3D. You talk about Joe Rogan last time. Yeah, absolutely. I would love to see Joe Rogan on the VR.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's fucking awesome, right? And many people want to have the deeper connection on the VR.
Yes.
So, I think, we talk about the VR school, and then imagine this one, people watching podcasts,
Right.
people who love the VR already, everyone watch. Tell me
Yeah.
who will not watch from the DOVR group, from Caudullo group, right?
Yep.
Will be not watching our podcast. If
Yep.
we'll be talking about the VR for the 5 hours, right?
Yep.
So,
Now, Adam, I mentioned. Yep.
so
Now, Adam, I mentioned Adam before, Adam Contrast. Records for the longest vlog podcast.
how many hours?
And now, I don't know, I forget all the details. I'll get you his information. You can check it out. But because we even did one together when I was visiting California. And he also, at that time, he just sold his DeLorean. He had a Back to the Future DeLorean.
Oh.
Which was,
wow.
yeah. And actually, he modified it. And he also has the Guinness World Book of Records for the fastest DeLorean because he
Wow.
redid the engine and took it out and did a speed.
Fly away from
and
the future.
and he basically, he has this podcast, and now he does it with his R5C. So he's doing 3D, but he's only using one camera.
Okay, I didn't see where
He's on DOVR. I'll have to send you his information.
I only look for the YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta look. I think he is.
Sure. I did his fine.
But I think he's on a platform on. I'll catch you his info.
Okay.
And we'll put it up.
But
on the
nobody
screen,
does the camera. Okay.
And we'll put it up
But
on the
nobody
screen.
does the camera. Okay. Anyway.
That nobody does. No, I haven't seen anybody do two cameras.
Yeah.
Not like this.
But we want to inspire more. That's the things, we want to inspire more, and then you inspire more creators.
Yeah.
That's how you make the loop, and the snowball.
Yeah.
That's what we need. We're on the perfect timing. With the setup, with the sound, with the Holy Land.
Yep.
Caudullo do great job with our friend from US.
Silver, yes.
Yes. So that's
And he's even doing the DJI.
So that's.
And he's even doing the DJI Osmo now, the 360.
Yeah. That's the.
Modified that as well.
That's the some stage it will never-ending story. Somehow sooner or later, for sure, someone go to the legit setup. Only focus on this one. Maybe Caudullo make like really good cooperation, and we can create something. It's all about the amount of the creators.
Yes.
So what I want to say also, we are academy create community.
Mm-hmm.
So with the together voice and the big community, we can actually have something to say to the company who invest, or sometimes they throw the money away.
Yeah.
We want them to throw the money, actually create something.
They can throw it away to us.
Actually create something.
They can throw it away to us, and
Yeah,
we'll
they can
take care
throw
of it.
away, exactly.
Please send your money
Yeah.
to us. We'll take care of it
It's
for
the
you.
goal, right? Like we on the stage on our business, we definitely need more, support
Yes.
to keep going. We want to invite other creators.
We want to invite Hollyland.
other creators.
We want to invite Hollyland to sponsor
Yeah.
our.
Creators, so the Caudullo or other company can create the legit, affordable setup. When
Yeah.
you don't need to use the glue, 3D printer.
Yeah.
It's great. We're super lucky to have it, right?
Yes.
So and we don't want to take the job for other people who put these things together, but but in other way, we want to have the professional setup,
Yeah.
with the affordable price,
Yes.
and if we can achieve this, to have more people who do it this one.
Yep.
Apple Vision Pro is a great setup. I understand that price have sense, but hope it's also allowed us to somehow be on the middle range when people can afford and have good quality stuff, right? Maybe something what they can buy extra, like the iPhone have Pro Max and everything.
Well, what they're doing now.
Pro Max and everything.
Well, what they're doing now, that they're talking about two different things possibly, and right now it's still all supposition.
Yep.
They're talking about that Apple is going to put out a lower price headset with less features and different materials, and it's going to go for around $1,500. Then I heard that they're going to be incorporating the M5 chip into the newest one. And I'm like, well, that's certainly not going to come out for $1,500. I would say there's maybe a good likelihood that you're going to see an M5 version of the Apple Vision Pro, which may go a lot higher, maybe $5,000,
Yes.
instead of $3,500, because that M5 chip is really amazing. But they also realize that they need to get down in the lower range. The new one from Vivo,
Mm-hmm.
That one is being pegged at about $1,350. They're saying that it's coming out at in China, but it's only coming. This is another thing, we're in an environment right now where there's a war going on globally over these whole tariff situation, and I don't even want to mention the Taco Man. But it's caused what's happening is this headset's only going to come out in China because it's going to cost too much to send it to the U.S. And, we already saw that with the Pico. Pico is not being sold in the U.S. because they're owned by ByteDance
Yes.
and the whole TikTok situation. So, there's a lot of political BS that's going on that's interfering with the growth of...
And I think I'll be happy when the war, it will be about production
Yes.
of the VR cameras.
Yes.
It will be war about the production or putting more money into creators on the many different levels.
Right.
Because we have also people who are, who are coders, who do it, design and the programs for application, for Apple Vision Pro, for Meta. So we need also, putting more, open conversation and, financial support to create things there.
Yes.
Because we talk about the, Unreal Engine when they create, the games on the VR, right? And they create the programs and the, things what you talked before about the healthcare and everything. It's all designed by, this, let's say, gaming part,
Yeah.
Because the graphic and everything, it's massive business and also cost and everything, right?
Yep.
So we need to have more people, like the companies who understand, like, hey, you create amazing things for the people to watch, but they need to have a content there,
Yeah.
And every time when you support this users,
Yeah.
you cannot forget, you cannot make Apple Vision Pro and have put 27 titles, because you can, if it's good, if this is good, you can watch in 1 week, right?
It's actually amazing.
You can watch in 1 week, right?
It's actually amazing to me that a headset that has sold less than 1 million units
Yes.
is influencing the marketplace so
It's because people realize that Apple does these things and
they're in it for the long haul.
Good PR is the same like iPhone, like people go, and they create the market.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I said, there's no voice from creators.
Right.
Because if we talk about, platform like DOVR, we need to have a DOVR as a community.
Yes.
And they need to work together with the Rival, with the VUZ, with the Amplium, right? With the, with the people we know.
Yep.
And who else is on the market? Like, there's few players who try and get in, but let's talk together, guys. So we have a community. When we speak to them, we have a similar language. We want to create the content. Maybe, all of us, we can sit together because, this company also work together.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think like, that you see like every setup, every car, we think they have two totally different things, but basically it's not the same stuff, right? Metacomic, Apple Vision Pro, VivoCom, and everything. Vivo looks similar to Apple Vision Pro.
it looks it's a copycat version. That's for sure.
It's a copycat version, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And the other interesting thing to think about with Vivo is that I think they made a mistake. They did not go in with the Android XR platform. They went with their own proprietary OS, which means they're isolated now.
Yeah.
This is the big thing that I have an issue with Apple, is that they are such an isolated platform. They don't play well with others. They don't want to play well with others. They want you to come and be.
I think because they didn't see the big input about the creators from the video.
Yeah.
They see mostly about the app.
Yeah.
So they think like, oh, it just copy the app.
Yeah.
But on the VR content, you actually need to have the separate, even resolution and the much more, different things.
Yeah.
Like you cannot take, from video to what you design from Meta to put the Apple Vision Pro. It's totally different coding. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah,
Totally different coding. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah,
General,
the format is completely different.
Yeah, I mean, it can work, and later
Yes.
with that, but it's still challenge, That's why if you produce video for the Apple Vision Pro, you need to have a, really top,
playing computer. And,
Yes.
there's a guy
in computer.
Yes.
And, there's a guy, his name is Dean Zwickel, and he actually coded a program for Windows that will convert 3D VR 180 into the spatial video format. And how spatial video works is, just so that people understand it, with you have normal 3D VR 180, you have two side-by-side images. One is the right eye, one is the right eye, one is the left eye. But with spatial video, what it does is it records the full left eye, and it only records the difference in the right eye. And that way, when it puts it together, you're saving on bandwidth. So, like for instance, if they were shooting this scene for the Apple Vision Pro, you would see movement on the right side from my hands and my face and everything, but the chair and the curtain behind me isn't moving, so that doesn't need to repeat that information. And it's a way to go ahead and save bandwidth. And therefore, the trade-off is that you can pack in more quality into a lower bandwidth, and that's what they're taking as their advantage. And it's solid reasoning, and it does work. We've used it before back in the day with 3D side by side, flat 3D. We had basically multi-view, which is the same. What's called spatial video is called MV multi-view HEVC.
Yeah.
Okay, which is the H.265 format. We used to have it with H.264, and it was called they called it MVI and MTS, and that was basically doing the exact same thing. It was a multi-view codec that was a way of encoding things. So they haven't come up with something new. They've just improved on what was already there, and they're making it work. But it's completely, you have one guy that finally created something that people, if I don't have an Apple computer, I don't have a Mac. So how am I going to create content for the Apple Vision Pro?
Mm-hmm.
Now I can, thanks to this guy writing this code, this program. And it's a very simple, basic program. So you do all your editing and everything in Premiere, and you maybe run it through Topaz and whatever else you want to do to it, and then you take that final product and then you convert it into this other format that can go onto Apple Vision Pro. So it's still kind of convoluted. I think there needs to be, and it'll never happen with Apple because they are so much in the whole proprietary thing. They don't want to mix, but we'll see what happens.
There's an app basically for the VR called Soapbox. They make they get a great artists, rappers and the musicians and performers, and they create the content on the green screen and also using I think 32 cameras, which they create the perfect 3D.
Okay,
which they create the perfect 3D.
Okay, so they're doing
right?
volumetric.
Trying to apply the VR background
Right.
On the same time, right? So I'm saying this one because there's a lot of talking about the green screen, right?
Yeah.
And how it works on the VR, because it's actually the thing connect with the AR, right?
Yeah.
When person can walk on this room, you see them on the
Right.
the let's say artificial reality.
Right.
So you are a fan of making content on the VR? I mean, on the
I'm not a big fan of green. I'm not a big fan of green screen. It's always been, it's specialized, and you have to have a big enough space to shoot it, because if the talent isn't far enough away from the green screen, then the lighting that you have on the background is going to bounce and it's going to spill onto the image, and then you have to adjust that. Some people are great at it. I'm okay, but I hate it. So I'm not really into that too much.
So
now, I got lucky. I got to do a volumetric video at a private event that was done in California back in 2019, right at the same time that we were doing the Connect 2019 up in San Jose. Then down in LA, they were doing basically they took over this whole theme park, and they had this all going. And Samsung did one of these volumetric, and you get onto this platform and there's like 100 cameras all around you, and they're in columns.
That's what they do.
And the computing power that it took, and what they did is they said, okay, talk to yourself. We're going to make a miniature you, and you're going to be in your own hand. And, I had to do the Obi-Wan, you are our last hope, please save us. And it was so cool. They sent it to me on my phone afterwards, and it was like, wow, that's so cool. But it was such an intensive experience, and the amount of equipment that you needed. Now that's actually come down, and not as much equipment needed, but you still need all those cameras all around you.
So it's more.
So it's not for practical shooting.
Studio applications.
Yes,
absolutely.
So if they want to do something like this, they just design for this one, and they just design for this one, and
in there they don't even do green screen. They just have black curtains all around, and
and they have like.
Well, when you start doing at this level, where
you have these multiple cameras, you mask out everything else. You cut out everything else. Green screen, you're just using a color that you can match to. You could match to black. You can match to purple. But most people don't wear green.
Yes.
That's why green was originally chosen.
Oh, really?
Because it was an odd color. And actually, there is a green screen green color formula. It's not just any green.
Okay.
It has to be the right color green because
So it's about
all the colors are made up of a blend of red, blue, and green.
Yes.
Okay. And so if you start tinting too much to one side, like maybe it's a little bit too blue green, then it's not going to balance because blue is one of the most popular colors for people to wear.
Okay.
Okay. So that's why, if you're going to do a green screen, you can't have somebody show up with a green shirt on because they'll look like they don't have a chest.
There's particular.
So there's particular things you have to do with green screen, and volumetric video is a completely different animal because you're not one camera shooting against the screen. You're 100 cameras, and they're all pointed at you, and the background just doesn't mean anything. It's intelligently gotten rid of, so it's nothing like green screen at all. But then again, you can get a three-dimensional object that you can turn around and it's fully you. Whereas with green screen, you're just masking off anything that's green, and then you can replace it with anything.
That was good part.
That's fun.
Did you like it? Did you enjoy? Okay,
He's
guys.
over there playing.
Enjoy?
He's over there playing with his phone. That's what
Yeah,
he's doing.
yeah.
It's just like, these guys, I don't even know what's going on. Are the cameras even recording?
Yeah,
Wait, I forgot.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
See you
All
on
right,
the
buddy.
school.
See you.
See you on
All right,
the
buddy.
school.
See you next time.
Ian.
You think so?